Hello and welcome back to Fine Print for Life. If this is your first time here, my name is Monique, and on this channel we talk about money, mindset, and other useful things we don't generally learn in school. Today's video is all about the 4 key things that I believe helped me through my 3.5-year debt-free journey. If you're new to my story, I had $100,000 when I graduated from my graduate program in 2016, and I am very, very close to paying it off. Eventually, I will do a more technical video on what I did and some of the planning I had and the numbers and everything. But in today's video, I wanted to talk about the bigger picture of the mindsets that really helped me through my debt-free journey and that I hope help you as well. The most important and the first step to my debt-free journey was having the desire to become debt-free. And I think, like anything in life, if you don't want it bad enough, you're not gonna take the steps to pursue it. So I really had a burning desire and motivation to become debt-free. I had just gotten out of a relationship and had to move out, and I was unemployed, and I couldn't move out until I had gotten a job. So it was just this kind of horrible situation. And I promised myself that I would get my finances in order. And I knew that the thing that I had to do was get this student debt out of my life for good, because without doing that, I would become stuck in this kind of vicious cycle of just giving all my money to creditors and not being able to save up and have the life that I wanted. This desire really, really motivated me and has kept me going throughout the years. I believed in myself. Now, it might sound a little bit cheesy, I know, but really believing in yourself is so important, because if you want to get something done, you have to believe that it is possible. You have to believe that you can do it. And when you kind of start believing in yourself, when you plant that seed in your mind, because our minds are so powerful, then that seed then sprouts to other things where you start taking action to pursue that goal. And something that's been really helpful for me is this book called Think and Grow Rich. It was written in 1937. Think and Grow Rich is this kind of self-help money book about literally thinking and growing rich. And it's about that long, and it has all these really helpful tips on how to build wealth, but more from a money mindset. It's full of these nuggets of information that really keep you motivated and going. And one line I'd like to read, it says, "You may convince the subconscious mind that you believe you will receive that for which you ask, and it will act upon that belief, which your subconscious mind passes back to you in the form of faith, followed by definite plans for procuring that which you desire." I believed in myself, but I'm a normal human being, and there were times that doubt crept in, that like, oh my God, how am I going to make this happen? And of course you start to kind of fall back on these negative thoughts, and that can be a real danger. So some of the mechanisms that I put in place to help the continued belief in myself where I would do all kinds of things, like I would make my passwords mantras of becoming debt-free, things that I had to use on a daily basis. I would have this debt-free chart on my fridge, which I looked at every morning, and every time I was in the kitchen, which is a lot, this was there. And every time I made a payment, I got to cross off one line. So that helped me have a visualization of the belief that I needed to keep going. And it was also motivating too. So that was another way. I also journaled about my debt-free journey and my desire to be debt-free and what I would do. And I started behaving in a way that I was debt-free. Not like I would go out and spend money, but I would think about how life would be when I didn't have to make those payments anymore. How much more freedom could I have at that time? I would imagine myself, I would imagine the feeling, I would imagine what it would feel like, both physically and emotionally, when I went online to make my final student loan payment. I would imagine having a big party and inviting people over to celebrate. And it was these kinds of thinking every single day and really getting it into my subconscious that helped me stay motivated and focused and come up with a plan on how I would pay this debt off. Or somebody posted a video of this guy, Earl Nightingale, on YouTube, and it's called The Strangest Secret, and I will link that below. But I downloaded that and I just listened to it on my way to work. I would listen to it on repeat. Anytime I felt wavering in my belief in myself, I would listen to that video, and it would just help keep me motivated to keep going and pressing through, and like knowing that I had a lot of power and that I could get this goal done. Aside from having the desire to do it, that was probably one of the most crucial elements of this debt-free journey. The third thing I did was I prioritized. And I didn't just prioritize like, oh, this is really important. No, I eliminated anything that wasn't going to help my goal of becoming debt-free. And Warren Buffett actually has a really great exercise where if you don't know where to start with your priorities of things that you want to do, it could be anything from learning a language to achieving some kind of career milestone or learning how to sing or dance. You write down 25 things that you want to do. And then of those 25 things, you circle the top 5. From there, you prioritize the top 5 and focus on 1 or 2 at a time. And sometimes the goals that you have in your life conflict with each other. So when I did this exercise, there were kind of 2 top priorities: becoming an artist and paying off my debt. Unfortunately, these 2 goals really conflicted with each other because the kind of art that I want to do involves a lot of networking in New York. And as anyone who is an artist or makes things know, you need a lot of time to make work. The only way that I could have been an artist was to basically not work as much, take a lesser paying job with possibly less benefits, and then also pay to go to New York and the expenses that come with that. I live about 2 hours away and train tickets are $40 round trip to go there. So if I was to go weekly to New York, could you imagine? That would be like $120 a month just in train tickets. And that doesn't include food. It doesn't include any kind of social expenses. It doesn't include art supplies or time away from work. It's really challenging to be financially secure and be a full-time working artist because you're kind of limited in what you can do for a living if you want to have enough time to make your work. And oftentimes people will teach, artists will teach and make their work on the side. However, with the amount of money that I needed to live on, I couldn't afford to be a university professor. And then I was in this whole predicament, like I didn't have enough teaching experience to get a full-time, so all I could do was adjunct, which doesn't pay very much at all and gives you no benefits. So I had to really put the art thing on the back burner and focus only on my debt, which meant that I had to take an office job. But I didn't want to take an office job that would get too much in the way of my creative practice. So I still wanted to have some time, some mental energy when I came home to really focus. And I also wanted time to, after work, teach if I could, so that I could eventually build up a resume for teaching when I did pay off my debt. In the end, I chose to be debt-free because I knew that the art would always be there if I wanted to go back to it. And I just focused on working. I worked a full-time office job. I took photo gigs when I could. I adjuncted. I even, one semester, I taught full-time while working full-time, which was absolutely insane. That really helped put a big chunk toward my debt. Eliminating the things that were contradictory to me paying off debt was really, really critical during this journey. And the fourth thing was I was shameless about my debt-free journey. I told everyone, and I was loud and proud about what I was doing. I don't think that there is any shame in admitting that you have debt if you're comfortable with that. And quite frankly, I think by telling everybody in my life about what I was doing and my plans, it actually helped me get more opportunities to pay off the student loans. So an example of this is my employers knew that I wanted to pay off my student loans. Anytime the opportunity came up, I was given the opportunity to work overtime. And that overtime really, really helped out so much because my base salary isn't that high. And so it was like these extra hours, this time and a half was so helpful. By telling everybody in my circle, that really helped me out. And then the people in my circle would tell people in their circle, and even those people helped me out. It was so touching to know that all these people were behind me. I think at the end of the day, the people in your life want to see you do well. They want to see you succeed. So if they know that you are working toward it and you make that loud and clear that that's what you're doing, people are going to think about you. Tell everybody about your debt-free journey. I'm not saying go out and ask for money. Don't be ashamed of having debt, is my point. And tell people what you're doing. You know what? Even if this is not a debt-free journey for you, even if you have something, even if you have a goal that you're working toward that isn't debt-related, tell people, because people will think of you. People will want to help you. That is what I have for you today. I hope you found it helpful, and please like and subscribe for more content like this. I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.